Hello, hello, hello. It is Andy here at Funny Little Boxes HQ, checking in for a beer and a chat with you. Cheers. To your very good health. I hope you're good. Hope you've got a beer. I tell you, I am so happy to be here to be doing this. I have not had the best of weeks. It started badly with my amp completely dying on me, making the sound a transistor amplifier should not make on its clean channel, like a fucking broken fuzz pedal from the 60s. Not a good thing. It just hasn't really improved from there with all sorts of things, and today has been shit. But I'm extremely happy to be here with you, and hopefully we can together drink and guitar away some blues. So start with the beer. I hope you've got a beer. Better have a beer. It's beer in the chat, yeah? Beer. I've from me my wankers box I showed you in the last one. I'm on the I've gone with things being the way they are. I've gone for the strongest one in the box. So it's an 8% double IPA, a Mai Tai double IPA. I've never had a Mai Tai. That's not to say I'm against cocktails. I used to frequent a cocktail bar in my younger days, which was just across the road from my house. Me and my housemate, but it was all about the rhubarb Manhattan then, so there was no Mai Tais. But this is very yummy. It's got that lovely IPA bitterness and then just a nice citrus hit, so it's great. It's strong. Yeah, lovely. Hits the spot. Cheers again. Right. Okay. Let's talk about pedals. I've got a few to show you. I'm going to start with, this is just a little amuse-bouche, so bear with me. So this is an exciting little thing that's come in, and this is on the site listed. You can buy this now. This is the Hold Reverb from Zcat Pedals. Now these guys are based in Latvia. So they're Baltic brothers of mine. I'm of Lithuanian descent. Sadly never made it to Lithuania or Latvia. Got as far as Estonia, and then we got too drunk and had to turn around, get back on the ferry to Finland. It was a great day. It was a great day. Anyway, this is a really interesting, really great sounding reverb pedal. So if you're into ambient sounds, this is perfect. This gives you a really lovely room type reverb to start with, and then with this hold switch, this momentary switch, you put your foot on this and it just gives you this big ambient wash, infinite sustain, decay. Lovely. Really great thing. So I'm going to use that a bit. You'll hear it in action. But so that's the amuse-bouche. Right, we'll get on to the main event. Bear with. I tell you what, I have never had so many technical hitches in setting up for a vid as I have today. Like I said, this week's fucking doomed. So I really hope nothing goes wrong while I'm doing this. But if it does, it does. Hey ho. Right. So before I go to the actual pedals themselves, yeah, I don't normally bother with boxes. I'm not a box wanker, but which is strange for a man who calls his business Funny Little Boxes. But I mean, this is next level boxing that these things come in. I mean, this is, you get a fucking, yeah, they're not in the box, they're down on the board ready to go. I will show you them. But I mean, you get like a proper little latch on that, and I don't know if my lighting's a bit shit, but there you see, and it says in there the pedal name. So we are dealing with stuff today from an awesome UK pedal builder, which these are just great people behind this with a great little story, which I am going to tell you. So settle down for story time. So this is the story of Underfluked. I became aware of them purely through Instagram and the pedal community there, sort of my following on there. And I became aware of them because of a pedal they've done called the Horse Whisperer, which is in a prototype stage at the minute, but which will very soon be fully ready to go with all its graphics and everything, and will hopefully be coming here to me, to pass on to you very soon, in a few weeks. So that's exciting. But we're going to start with what we got. So I became aware of them through that, and then Dan, who is Underfluked, if you like, got in touch with me about getting some pedals in, doing a vid about them, selling them, making you guys aware and getting them out there. So I'm going to start with the name first, Underfluked. I asked him about the name because I love the name. And he told me that I love this story. So it's the name of a blues band that he had many years ago with some friends, some bandmates, and they so they had kind of two requirements for the name. They didn't want it to be anything that was already used, anything where so when you typed in their name into Google, it brought up nothing, unless obviously them, if they were to get a website and stuff. So it was a name that had to, Google brought nothing up. And then they kind of, because they were a sort of bluesy band, they wanted the name to be a bit bluesy, a bit down on its luck, and basically wanted a way of saying subpar without calling themselves subpar. And so they came out with, as in unlucky, so lucky, fluky, so the opposite of that. And so Underfluked was born. And I love that. I think that's a great name. It's just, it's a good story and it's a good name. And yeah, I just love it. It's great. And there's something else to say with So. I've got two pedals from them today. One is purely an Underfluked pedal. One is Underfluked with JSA effects. JSA effects is essentially a one-man boutique operation who Dan from Underfluked knows. They were part of some sort of collaborative. And basically, for various reasons, it's hard for JSA effects. I'm really sorry. I can't remember the guy's name, and I don't want to say it and get it wrong. So I'm just going to refer to him as JSA. So JSA can't produce pedals all that easily or that quickly. But when he does put them out, apparently they fly out in seconds. And so Dan, on the Underfluked side of things, being friends, being there, basically looked at producing PCB forms of JSA effects in order to A, make them affordable, and B, make them easily put togetherable by someone else other than JSA, so that JSA effects are out there under the Underfluked name. The pedal that has it in does say JSA effects inside, and I believe all the ones that have JSA effects in do make it quite clear that there are JSA effects inside. So it's a real collaborative thing, and there's loads of other people that they've worked with on things. Trying to remember the name of the guy who's doing the graphics for them on their new pedals that they've got. Hubcap John, I think. And he does the graphics, and he also makes like range masters in tobacco tins, I think. So go check him out as well. So there's all these people involved with this, and that is something I really, really like from the start, and I'm really pleased to be involved with them at the start. I'm really pleased Dan got in touch with me and asked me to kind of get involved with them, because I love the collaborative stuff. I love the story. I love the fact that there's lots of people come together. It's that UK pedal building community. It's what I aim to be a part of. It's what I'm constantly aiming to put out there. So it's great that from the off there's a huge amount of collaboration involved. So I'm not going to waffle on about them anymore. I'm going to get the pedals up, I'm going to talk about the pedals, and we're going to hear the pedals. Right, so I'm going to start with the fuzzer. So this is purely Underfluked. This is, sorry, my lighting's a bit crap. I'm trying to get it so you can show. So this is the purely Underfluked pedal. So this is Dan's baby that he's been working on for a long, long time. And the basic idea of this is, I think, and apologies Dan if I'm putting some across the wrong side of the story here, but for me is essentially a silicone fuzz that operates kind of like a germanium one. So it's got more. So I think normally there'd be 2 silicon resistors or diodes or transistors. I don't know. I'm not a components man. That's why I don't build these things. I tout the stuff that other people far more talented than me build. But it's got 4 of these silicone things, gizmos, let's say. Whereas I think your average silicone fuzz, I'm going off what Dan told me on the phone, would have 2. So this has got 4, and that allows it to kind of work in that germanium way. And that kind of relies on this. So you've got simply a volume, a fuzz control. So obviously the fuzz is all the way up, and that is where it will stay. And then this is a bias control. And so hard right, you've got basically dead battery sounds. Hard left, you've got just gated in a different way. So either way, either extreme of that, you get some pretty esoteric sounds, which they can be usable. What I will do is I will show you what for me is the absolute sweet spot of this pedal, and you know, this pedal's kind of secret weapon lies in this, and where it hits that sweet spot and what you can then do with it, which is that thing where to me it really emulates that classic germanium fuzz style. So hopefully I've given you a good rundown on that. Hopefully, apologies Dan and everyone else involved in this if I've talked a lot of shit. I don't think I have. I think I did listen on the phone, and I think I've said what you told me. Like I said, it's been a terrible week. It's been a dreadful day. So if I've completely got that wrong, my apologies, but I don't think I have. So I'm going to get this plugged in, and I'm going to start with it with the bias control around 3 o'clock and show you the sounds that I quite like to get from it there. And then I'm going to whiz it round to about 9 o'clock, show you the sounds I like to get from it there, and then I'm going to hit the sweet spot. Okay, right, bear with. God, it's thirsty work tonight, I tell you. Okay. Right, we'll just engage the amplifier. Obviously, using the new rig, so this is the ignitor and the orange cab, so there's your clean tone. And then on with the fuzzer. So this is with the bias, like I said, sort of not quite hard right, but almost hard right. So, you know, you're in real dead battery kind of zone. So, you know, you have to really smack it to be getting any signal out of it. And I've just had to whack the volume up to compensate. Pardon me, I do apologise for that. So yeah, have a little twiddle on this setting and then we'll move on. Okay, so that's with it. as I said, at the 3 o'clock position. So I'm going to crank it back round now to the opposite in the 9 o'clock position. Might well have to adjust the volume again. So you can hear there's still that kind of, I don't know, crackly, fuzzy kind of almost deadness to it. But it's in a different way. I don't really know, like, it's quite easy to describe it the other way with dead battery sounds. I don't quite know how to, almost overloaded. And it's interesting when you're around at the dead battery sort of end, you get much more joy on your lower strings, and then when you're up this end, I find on your higher strings is where the fun's to be had. Right, so that's the kind of 2 extremes, if you like. I'm not going to completely dime them either way, because obviously I do just record this onto a phone. I know I should get my arse in gear and get something better, but whatever, it's what I do. But I'm just worried that the sound just won't pick it up satisfactorily. So I'm going to go and hit what for me is the sweet spot. Hopefully you can hear there why I think that's the fucking sweet spot. It just sounds, it's just great. I love it. I could play it like that all day, happily, just fucking... So much fun. So that is with your bias knob, just shy of 12 o'clock, just shy of noon. Right, so now that is delightful, delumptious, delicious, all the wonderful words. But it kind of gets better, because with a bit of rollback on the volume, maybe pump the volume just a tiny bit. Just this lovely kind of slightly overdriven, but what for a lot of people passes as a sparkly, clean tone. And that's the kind of thing, that's your classic thing from a Germanium fuzz, where you can roll back the volume, single coil pickups, and just achieve something really, really lovely there. And you know, so you could have this pedal as just your dirt section essentially. You dime it, you roll it back, and you have this loveliness. And then when you want to fucking awesome. It's great. It's so much fun to play. I almost don't want to move on to the next pedal, but I have to. So I'm going to do. So, just let me get it, basically. Okay. So, this little unassuming grey box, this is the Little Treble Maker. This is a JSA effect circuit, which has been put onto a PCB by Underflute. So this is one of those collaborative pedals. And the idea behind this is JSA had built this, I mean, it's kind of labelled a treble booster, but if you ever used a treble booster, it's not really. This is no average. So what this was intended to be was essentially the treble section from a Klon Centaur, that mythical overdrive that people pay fucking thousands of pounds for. Anyway, each their own. If you like it, you like it. But you know, that is an eye-watering amount of money to spend on an overdrive pedal. Anyway, so the idea is this is the treble section from that pedal, and then you've got your standard essential clean boost. And this thing, now I'm probably not going to explain this very well because I'm not techie, but the idea of this is that this is capable of basically boosting your treble. You can use this pedal with just the treble engaged. You don't have to use the booster. You can have just, you know, if you just want to retain your high end of something, if you know, there's so many uses for things. You can use it for brightening your repeats on an analog delay, which I'm going to show you. There's so many uses, but so basically you can either use them in conjunction to get a volume boost as well, or you can just use the treble boost. And the way it works is that what it actually does is, as you engage it, it cuts out your treble and then dials it back in a sweeter, better way. And this really is one of those pedals that is, you engage this and it makes everything sound better. And my God, do you notice it when you turn it off? This really is, if you like, the perfect utility pedal. It's your pedal board's new best friend. You just, for me, where I personally, it's odd because normally a pedal like this I would have first in chain and just have it as that always on, use it. But this, I've tried it at both ends of a chain. I plugged it in at either end of the afforder board and in different combos. But this, I would put this, for me, end of chain, and it just does magical things, especially if you've got an analog delay on there, because it'll just keep those delays, those repeats, that little bit more audible, that little bit clearer, that little bit better. Just makes everything better. It's just, it's, you know, it's fucking witchcraft and wizardry in a box. It's just, it's great. And it's, you know, I said in the Bad Penny video when I was looking at their flow boost, that's a beautiful boost. It just makes it, you know, boosts can be quite a boring thing to talk about, but then actually when you plug one and you hear what it does, actually they become pretty much the most interesting thing there, because they just do wonderful things to your rig. And I just think, you know, you need some kind of a boost or something. And I mean, this is a fantastic UK made option. This is just a glorious thing. So I'm going to shut up about it now, and I'm just going to plug in, and I'll just talk you through what I do, and hopefully it will come across on the crappy mic on my phone well enough. There we go. Technical shit. Somehow I managed to fuck things up there. I don't know how. It's been a dreadful day. It's been a dreadful day. But this is definitely making it better. Here's to making it better. Here's to you. Cheers. Right. Let's talk about making things better with the underflute little treble maker. So here's my clean tone. And this, you've probably worked out, hopefully, is with a bit of the ZCat reverb engaged. I put that on a while back. Sorry, hopefully you noticed. There's that hold function, just in case you missed it. That's a perfectly nice clean tone. Putting the treble maker on. I've got the boost at 9 o'clock. I've got the treble at 1 o'clock. Puts that subtle sparkly magic back into it, which I really hope is coming across. I'm going to dial up the treble a bit just so to really accentuate that. Okay, so let's try and look at specific ways of using this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the troublemaker off and I'm going to put my analog delay on, which is the BBE2 timer. Okay, perfectly nice analog delay. Obviously, the analog delay, the repeats degrade as you go along, so it has that darker, warmer repeat. So that's it, just as it is, with the troublemaker engaged. So you can, it just makes them that more audible, that gives that bit of clarity to them. It just makes it better. So that's great. That's why I think, especially if you've got an analog delay, have this at the end of your chain. And it just makes everything better. I'm going to turn it off now. I'm just finding to really get that kind of volume and clarity in the repeat, I'm having to hit so much harder, and it's not actually, it's just not having the same effect. That little travelling, it just does magical things. I'm going to turn the delay off. I'm going to put the fuzzer back on, and we'll see what it does if we have the fuzzer on, what it then does when we put the treble master on. I'm going to leave it there purely because time's getting on. This is loud. My neighbours, as fucking irritating as they are, probably aren't going to be too happy with this going on much later. So, with deep regret, I'm going to down tools. But, hopefully that's given a good overview. These pedals are tons of fun and, so usable, so useful. Really, that little treble maker, you could put that anywhere in your chain. I like it at the end of the chain. You could put it anywhere. I don't know, if you had like an old flanger or something and you wanted to really help it accentuate that top end, if you're looking for that Gilmore kind of real poke in the top end that you get from the flanger, you put that after your flanger and have that engaged. That's going to do that. It's going to do it with all sorts of things. It's a marvellous little pedal, and the fuzzer is so much fun. And that bias control, that ability to roll back and get that beautiful, sparkly, kind of clean, slightly overdone, that sound, that's just brilliant. That's just, what can I say? I'm totally sold on these things. I think you guys will get a huge amount of joy out of them. I really think, these are something that, I'm not gonna lie, I want to see them fly off the shelves. That's the same for any of the people I work with. Xander, Bad Penny, I mean, fuck me, they did fly off the shelves. Don't think there's more stuff to go. Ray Gun, most of them flew out. There's a couple of... So, that's what I want to see from the UK stuff. I want to see people snapping this stuff up and taking it and going out there, putting it on boards and having fun with it. And this is no exception. These are fantastic. Subscribe to the newsletter, please, because you'll get priority access to these. Subscribe. This goes up on YouTube if you're watching it on YouTube, Facebook, wherever. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to be anything poorly, but all those clicks, they help. And please make a comment. Tell me what you think of these. Tell me how much of a twat you think I am. It's fine. It's okay. It's fine. I know I can't play. I know I'm an idiot with a beard. It's fine. You can say all these things. It's about the pedals. Like I said, the Zcat is available on the site to buy now if you like what you hear. If you're into your ambient kind of stuff, that'll hit your spot, no doubt. But please, keep an eye out for the Underflute stuff. Like I said, it'll be priority access, newsletter subscribers only for the first couple of days, which is hopefully going to be tomorrow and Friday, and then at the weekend they'll go on release. But obviously things can change. Everything's been going wrong this week, so I don't want to make any promises. But hopefully, these are available to buy very soon. I really hope you enjoyed them. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. This has been great. I hope you've enjoyed your beer. I've enjoyed my beer. I'm still enjoying my beer. I'm going to shut up now. So the only thing to say is a massive thank you to Dan at Underflute, and to him and all the guys involved in these things. Fucking awesome. Awesome work. Huge thank you to them for sending these my way, for working with me. As always, huge thank you to all the other people I work with. Alex at Xander, Mark at Bad Penny, Steve at Raygun. Great people, great effects. Come buy them, support those guys. When you buy these things from Funny Little Boxes, you're supporting two, homegrown UK businesses, because you're supporting me by buying from me, and you're helping me support them by enabling me to buy more stuff off them. And also you're getting the names out there on the board, and that can only help. Anyway, I am going to shut up now. This has been great. You're lovely. To your very good health. Until next beers, cheers. Oh, lovely drop. Bye-bye.